Hi, I'm Jordan Goodfriend, and this is the presentation on the light-dependent reaction. So the light-dependent reaction is a part of the photosynthesis process. This photosynthesis is when 6 carbon dioxide and 6 water get converted through solar energy into 1 glucose and 6 oxygen. These are the reactants over here, and after they're converted, they become the product over here. So these are the products. So this is basically a chart showcasing what happens in the light-dependent reaction. The reactant in this process is water, and the products are oxygen, ATP, and NADPH. This is a thylakoid disc right here. This is the thylakoid interior. This is the cell membrane. This is the stroma out here. Yeah. So the whole process starts when a light hits this thing right here called a photosystem 2. So pigments in photosystem 2, namely chlorophyll A, catch the light. Any light that is missed is caught by carotenoids, which transport the light energy back to chlorophyll A. And this light energy is called photons. So a bunch of photons just hit photosystem 2, it becomes excited, and it starts to lose electrons. And these electrons start going down this chain of electron receiving molecules. It's going down this chain. And so photosystem 2 has lost molecules, and it needs to regain them. So remember, water is the reactant here. It just grabs water and just grabs electrons, it steals them. And by doing so, it breaks water apart from an H2O molecule into oxygen and hydrogen atoms. The oxygen atoms diffuse all the way out through the plant, out into the air. And that is how we get our oxygen. That's how we breathe. That's how we're alive. And then the hydrogen chills in the thylakoid interior as a hydrogen ion. This electron chain right here, it's losing a little bit of energy, excuse me, as it's going from down the chain. And that energy is used to actively transport in hydrogen ions from the stroma through the cell membrane into the thylakoid interior. And my chart doesn't show that, but that is what the energy that's lost here does. It brings in hydrogen from the stroma into the thylakoid interior. So you have hydrogen from the H2O and hydrogen being brought in from the stroma. And all this hydrogen, their ions, they create a chemical gradient where there's a high concentration in the thylakoid interior and a low concentration in the stroma. So through a process called chemiosmosis, the hydrogen diffuses through this thing called the ATP synthase out into the stroma. And as it does this, the ATP synthase is spinning. And as it's spinning, it's combining ADP and phosphorus groups. It's combining those into ATP, another one of the products, which is just energy basically that is very important for the plant. So yeah, that's all that's happening down here. So let's get back to this electron chain. Electron chain, it's bouncing, and eventually gets to photosystem 1, which is very similar to photosystem 2. Light hits it, the pigments absorb the light. Chlorophyll A is the main one, and the carotenoids, anything that misses it brings it back to chlorophyll A. It's got a bunch of photons hitting it, so it excites the electrons, and the electrons continue to move down a chain through electron receiving molecules. And this time, as it goes through the chain, this thing right here, NADP, is an ion that's positively charged and needs an electron. So as the electrons are bouncing down this chain, NADP will grab an electron, and it'll also grab a hydrogen. The hydrogen, just out in the stroma, it diffuses through the ATP synthase. So it'll grab an electron, it'll grab a hydrogen, and it'll combine to create NADPH, which is a coenzyme that helps drive the process. So yeah, thank you.